Cool.
All right. All right. All right. Hello, everybody. Finally, the long-awaited, long-anticipated game Hellsinker for STG Weekly 29 is going down today. Hellsinker. Who makes this game, guys?
Ruminant Wimper.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, yeah. So for Hellsinker, a lot of people kind of it's kind of a very ominous game as far as the knowledge goes into scoring and stuff like that. We're here to kind of try to debunk exactly what's going on in this game, so that people can try to understand the scoring in the game. Apparently, it's kind of complicated, but try to figure it out today. And so today, actually going to be joined by a few different guests who know the game more than others, I would assume, and that's going to be Nasty Wolverine.
Hello.
And we're also joined by Zarok.
Hey.
And Noah.
Hello.
And of course, Frenetic is here co-hosting with me.
Yeah! F-Man in the house, guys!
And and we also got Kevin DDR. He's actually doing a stream for us today because Soda was out, so props to him for helping us out with that.
My 500 up, 500 down university connection is finally proving to be useful.
So awesome! Yeah, Kevin DDR!
So yeah, as usual on the SDG Weekly, like to kind of preface the episode before we get into the replays with all kind of like the basic stuff about the game. If one of you guys wants to kind of start out real basically with I guess a general kind of talk about what kind of game is Hellsinker? I guess what can you compare it to, or like how does it differ from other shmups, I guess, in general? If any of you guys want to try to field that question.
Okay, I guess I can start.
Go ahead.
It's like a multiple weapon shmup like Thunder Force or Radiant Silvergun or something like that, where you have like a ton of tools at your character's disposal, and you have walls and levels and stuff, so the level design is pretty varied. There's a lot of differences between levels. But a lot of the game is just learning how to use all of your character's attacks, because there's a lot of those in this game, and everything's useful somewhere. And
okay,
it's just it's a pretty technical game to even play for survival because
of
the weapon thing. But it's sort of rewarding too, because once you learn how to use your character, it'll be really easy to 1cc the game.
So would you say when people start out playing this game, you're mostly just trying to play for survival and not really caring that much about scoring?
Yeah, I'd say try to 1cc first. Okay. Though I mean, like if you die, it hurts your score a lot in this game, so they sort of tie in together. Eventually, you just increase the risk level you play at, so you try risky strategies and stuff, like usual in shmups.
Okay, so like how many stages are we looking at? Do we have bombs? And then what are the controls exactly for this game? I guess is the next field question there.
There's 8 stages. You have a shot button, a sub weapon, and a bomb, and a slow button.
Okay.
And the bomb in this game, actually, there are no bomb items. You have a bomb that recharges over time.
Okay.
Which is sort of crazy. Some characters have the bomb recharge pretty fast, so you can abuse it a lot. Stuff like that. And there's a rank system that doesn't make the game that much harder, but it acts as a multiplier for your score, which is pretty important. You're playing for score.
Okay. Alrighty. Okay, and then what about the interface in the game? Because I noticed there's a lot of like different meters and that type of thing on the sides. How important is it to pay attention to those? Are you actually looking at those very often, or what's the deal with those all those meters and all that type of thing?
You don't actually almost never need to look at them, because you actually have like all sort of visual cues around your character. They're hard to, I mean, you might not notice them at first, but there's like you'll have these glyphs around your character when you have a bomb, and you'll have text above your character when your like gauge is full or something. So you usually don't need to look at them at all. apart from the score counter
I would
and the
also
bomb
like
meter.
to add. I would also like to add that all the bars that show up in the game, all of them have audible clues as well. So when your bomb
Yeah.
actually fills up, it gives you a little audible clue. Same with the shop. Every 100 spirit, it gives a ring.
An audible cue for what exactly? I didn't
For the
quite follow that.
bombs, your main shot, even your score. So every 100 spirits you score, there is an audible ring. So,
Okay.
and when your bomb recharges, you also hear an audible ring. It says bomb ready or something in a very digitized, robotized voice.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we get too much into scoring, what about the like the general all the mechanics for the game that we're going to be seeing? So we got like some footage kind of playing in general for the game. So I guess hopefully when you talk about some of these things, they'll be seen in the replay. But what are the all kind of the mechanics we're going to be looking at with like with in terms of using the controls? I guess is my next question there.
Well,
As far as like
the-
bullet canceling and like barriers and
Yeah.
all that type of stuff.
the thing is, the current game has 7 different characters, or was it 8?
Okay,
And they're
7.
pretty different
okay.
from each other.
It's a lot of characters.
Yeah, and pretty much all of them has like some sort of bullet canceling tool and stuff like that. But the one we're looking for, I mean, the replay we're looking at is gonna
Okay.
have the player is playing Minogame, which is maybe the strangest character in the game. It doesn't really, it's not based on like some older shoot 'em up. Like there's actually a Dragon Blaze clone ship that plays just like a Dragon Blaze ship.
Really?
But,
Okay.
but like Minogame has melee attacks and he has homing lasers. And what makes her, him, sort of overpowered is he has he can use his sub weapon as a bomb to give him invulnerability. But for scoring, it's not that useful. So the player
Okay.
only uses it in tight spots and stuff like that. I guess we could talk more about the other characters once we switch the replays, because we'll have other characters in the other replays, stuff like that.
Okay, I would like to add a few things about Minogame. He's actually a hermaphrodite, so it's a he-she. But for convenience, you refer to him as a he.
There's an android too, though.
Yeah.
All right.
And the character actually combines techniques from the other 3 characters in the game. So the main shot is very similar to the Kagura character, which is very useful for milking enemies. Then the bomb is very similar to the first character, Dead Liar, which is useful in taking out a lot of things at the same time and scoring out of it. And also very similar to the second character, Fossil Maiden. It has a invincibility attack. So he gets invincible and tries to graze a lot of lasers for more points.
Okay. All right. So now, since you mentioned grazing, like, why don't we talk about the things that we'll be getting this player extra points in general. Like, what are you going to be doing to get actually score in this game? I guess in general.
All right. The main scoring system in this game is actually pretty unique, so it took people a while to figure it out. But basically, in the game you actually have enemies have visible point values. They're shown in green numbers, so you can always see what you get from an enemy when you kill it. But there are ways to increase that value, and that's like the basic scoring system.
Okay, yeah, those numbers are pretty small, but I do see them. They are green.
Yeah. But yeah, you increase the values by hitting enemies with an attack. But every attack has like its own multiplier to how much it increases them.
Okay.
And you can also increase the points by hitting more than 5 enemies at once. So those are actually those are the only 2 ways to increase the points. And then there's some like specific ones, like some enemies increasing points the closer you are to them, but those are pretty rare.
Okay, so this is like a matter of kind of figuring out what type of shot, the sub weapon or the main shot, gets you the most points from certain enemies. So it's gonna get then in this case you're getting familiar with the enemies and
The multipliers are universal though. Usually it's
Okay.
the best attack is like a weak attack, so that's why it's well sort of like milking. But
Oh, okay.
the game actually has a lot of bonus waves. So if you kill an enemy wave fast, you'll get another wave. The game is like full of those, so you can't really be slow and just sit and milk some enemies on the screen. You have to know what I mean. You gotta be really fast, know what you're doing. So it's a lot about knowing how to deal with like every wave, individual wave.
So in this game, we're not really looking at like big like cash-in moments. We're looking at small bits of score spread out throughout the whole run.
Yeah.
For every like wave and every kind of enemy you fight. There's no like huge
Yeah,
like
that's
things you have to do
Uh,
essentially, right?
There is only one exception to that. It's the
Yeah.
stage Shrine of the Farewell. It's more like a blackjack, where you have to keep hitting, and if you win always, you get about twice your score from whatever score you go into that stage with. You can come out with about twice as much score.
Yep. Yeah, that's really important. You really gotta nail that stage to get a good score. If you mess up, you halve your score. If you do well, you double your score. So,
Oh, sorry, I didn't quite catch that fully. From doing what? Does that?
basically, you can't die. Death's slower.
Oh,
the
don't
most,
die. Okay.
the more
Okay.
points you get.
All right. Okay, and then also, since I'm kind of watching the preview here, I do see quite a bit of the guy kind of getting close to a boss.
Yeah.
So what kind of like things are we looking at for like being close to enemies, like point blanking? Like, how's that going to be helping out?
Oh yeah. You can't die by colliding with enemies in this game. You like bounce off of them,
Okay, good to know.
but it's pretty dangerous because you bounce a lot. So if there's a bullet in the way, you're gonna die. But Minogame has melee attacks, which is maybe why he's being so close to the enemies.
I see.
And that the attack that makes him invulnerable also makes him able to go like on top of enemies.
Okay, so we'll
That's
see
another
that.
reason to do it.
Gotcha. And what's the attack that makes him invulnerable? Is it his sub weapon then, or
It's a charged sub weapon.
charged sub weapon? Okay.
If he's charging his melee attack and uses sub weapon, it does that attack.
So can you charge the shot along with the sub weapon then?
Yeah,
Okay.
basically.
So you got two different charge shots as well. And we
Yeah.
mentioned
The
that
sub
earlier.
weapon charges automatically though. You just tap the button. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And the invincibility attack is pretty easy to see. It's just a big old ball that turns you yellow when you're inside it.
Yeah.
Like a big old Oreo.
Okay.
I think it's called Golden Nirvana, the attack name.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I was supposed to mention something at the start, but to any new players, I'd recommend just reading the English manual. It has like about everything you want to know about the game. The strategy thread that was written on the Smups forum is actually basically that manual, but it wasn't translated back then, so people just had to figure it out on themselves. I think that's why the game has a bit of people think it's like obtuse. It doesn't want people to figure it out. But that's not true because the developer made like a huge manual. But who reads manuals for a shoot 'em up though? It's sort of surprising.
So
Yeah, when I want to get a manual, I just get hands-on. I think that's what community is like, right?
Um, so yeah, I mentioned at the beginning of the episode that this game is kind of viewed as being kind of confusing and hard to understand exactly what's going on. Why is it that it's kind of like it's got this impression exactly? Like, what
Because
makes
it's not meant to be understood.
what do you mean
That's
by
one of the
that though?
I think that's seriously the point of the game. There's some things that you just can't understand.
So there's just a lot. So the game is kind of priding itself in having a variety of things you're not quite sure what's happening, or is that what you mean by that?
It's more like a Hitchcock movie or a thriller movie where the script actually just leaves you off to think on your own. The game doesn't provide any clues of what you're supposed to think about it anymore. It's your own interpretations that come in. It's something very deep and philosophical like that.
Well, like I can kind of see how that applies because right now I'm watching a part in the preview. It's probably not syncing up to the video on stream, but those part where it's like a big boss and he's kind of scrolling the screen from the far left to the far right. So do you mean like there's like a sort of freedom in how you play the game is what makes it unique?
Well, I mean,
It's
I want to say it's like you see this and you have this mystery and you're enticed and you want to figure it out. The thing is, the more you try to figure it out, the more it kind of pushes the goalposts back and brings in more mysteries to the point where you can't see anything anymore.
So what's the easiest way to tell that you're doing something right in the game?
You're not dying.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so survival is like a big deal. In the game
You're not
then.
dying and you're milking enemies and
Okay.
killing them fast.
So it's good.
the
It's
same
good to
time.
remember then that survival is pretty much one of the main things that's
Yeah.
about the game. But it still remains like it's kind of seems like it's got very much so like a score attack feel, despite trying to survive. Like you're constantly trying to do things here and there to get a little bit more points.
Yeah, that's a thing I like a lot. You can like do lots of little tricks and it'll increase your score, but there's no like huge point gain somewhere that'll like multiply your score by a ton.
So it seems like every
So you
time
can
like,
just practice
yeah.
individual stages and improve your scores really easily. Stuff like that.
Yeah, just from looking at it, it seems like every time you'd play like a run, like it would definitely be going quite a different way depending on how you approach
Yeah.
every section. It seems.
One thing I would like to add is your survival is not tied down to scoring, so you don't get extends based on score. Well, you do, but that's extremely less. You have to collect heart items to get extends. So you can actually score below 1,000 spirits in the entire game and still 1 CC it.
Yeah.
So if you're just playing purely for survival and not looking at score, you can do a good job and actually get a 1 CC. But if you're playing for score, this game gets really tough.
Okay.
Yeah, you basically can die 1 or 2 times. The world record actually has 2 deaths.
So is the amount of lives a multiplier for your score then, or what?
If you get an extend when you're at max lives, you'll get a point bonus that keeps increasing every time you get the bonus. So it grows to be pretty big. Like at the end, it's like 1,500, and the scores are like 100,000. So that's pretty big
I see.
part of the score.
Okay. I had something else I was gonna ask, but I forgot. I don't know. Feel free to. I don't know. Well, what else is there to talk about?
There are multiple
Yeah, someone
scores.
said-
Oh yeah. I remember what I wanted to get to. The items. So is the different type of items you see also part of the mystery of the game? Because I've seen like 4 or 5 different types of items come from enemies, like blue ones, yellow items, all the sorts of things. Is that also part of like what you're trying to figure out, like, or what's the deal with the various types of items I see from destroyed enemies?
Yeah, I should have mentioned that earlier, but that is something that the manual explains, though you don't need to figure it out yourself. But
Okay.
but basically, all the purple items recharge your main shot, and then there's the orange items give you points,
Okay.
and the hearts give you get you closer to the next extend.
Okay.
That's pretty much it. There's some other items, but they don't matter as much as those main ones.
There's the other one is for bomb. So, but the bomb
Yeah.
recharges fast enough for it. You can actually disregard it, except in a few places.
So you said like that purple/blue item is for your shot.
Yeah, all the
regeneration?
purple items recharge your shot. There's just a lot of different looking ones.
Okay, gotcha. It's like big and small ones. Okay, gotcha. Okay. So the items not a huge deal to remember what those are. You're just collecting pretty much all of them, is what it sounds like.
You would just not collect the pink ones because that reduces your rank, and that can affect score if you're
Yeah.
going for score. But if you're playing for survival, you collect the pink items and lower your rank, so the patterns are slower and easier to dodge.
Oh,
Okay, so rank is
Inco1
the same.
asked in
Okay.
the chat that a good question. He said, like, what about not going to the Shrine of Farewell? There's a stage in the game that's determined by your performance when it appears. There's a little counter on the bottom left for it, and the counter goes down if you die or you autobomb or you do other mistakes.
So there's
you'll-
a condition. There's a stage condition.
yeah,
Okay.
but you'll always get the stage before the last stage. But that's the best place to get it because it's the Shrine of Farewell we were talking about, where you can double your score. So that's another reason not to die too much, or you'll get the stage too early. If you're playing for score, I mean.
All right. So what's the most difficult part about surviving in the game then? I guess is another question I have now.
Fast
I think
bullets.
fast bullets, and
Okay.
there's some
Really fast
pretty hard
bullets.
bosses in general
Okay.
near the end of the game.
The first wall in this game for survival comes at segment 5. Is the perpetual calendar. That boss is pretty tough if you don't know what you're doing. And the final wall is at about segment 6. Is the Apostles of the Seed, and that's the most trickiest boss in the entire game.
Yep.
If you can actually get beyond segment 6, you will have a 1cc within about a week or two.
Okay. I see. Then I'm also wondering, there's some like the chart, what are the attacks that are making you invincible in the game? Because I do see he's becoming invincible to bullets and stuff like that. What's he doing to become invincible there? Or am I saying that wrong?
It's the attack with where he throws the big circle on the level that makes you invulnerable, and the bomb where he throws purple projectiles everywhere. That's his bomb. Those are the only two ones that make you invulnerable. Yeah.
Okay, and then you can't like how much can you abuse it? I guess is my other question there.
You can abuse it quite a lot, but for score it's not that good because the circle damages enemies, but it doesn't decrease their points, so you're wasting points. And it also takes a while to charge the weapon, so if you do it, you can't do anything else. Pretty much.
I see. So you're kind of preparing to use the invincibility for like for a certain part.
Yeah, in the replay, the Japanese player only uses it for like in very specific situations. If you're playing for survival, you can use those attacks a lot.
Okay.
You can just spam them and actually get through the entire game.
Yeah.
That's how I got my score.
But obviously you want to play it and try to kill stuff and figure out try to get an idea of what kind of points you're getting from the various enemies. So, okay.
Yeah, that's only this character though. I mean, every character has sort of a cheap tool somewhere, but this is the only one who has a weapon that makes him invulnerable. That's
Really?
not his bomb.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because that's like a big thing to. I know it's like a big thing to consider because I mean, when you see like invincibility in a shmup, like you have to wonder like why exactly is it good? Is it worth it? Et cetera. Because it's just one of those things where it's like you have to wonder.
And that
It's
reminds
not
me.
com-
Oh, okay, I'll finish, I guess. The characters are so different. You were talking about there's a lot of ways to approach the levels.
Okay.
It's very hard to like try and learn multiple characters because they have completely different routes through the levels. Because they have like completely different weapons. The only like universal thing is the forward shot on each character, pretty much. The other
So
weapons vary a lot.
the point values change from character to character.
Yes.
Oh, that's
It's the rate of increase for each character is different. So some characters they have a long time to increase the spirits, while some characters can do it very fast. But Kagura Xanthel is one of the characters. The main shot does a lot of damage and increases the spirit very fast. But most of the time you end up killing things before you end up with a good spirit value. While other characters, they have very low main shot damage, so they can keep hitting it and get more spirits out of it.
So what is the spirit value exactly?
Spirit is the this game's way of saying score.
Okay, just your score stuff. Okay.
On that note, I should explain the other names that this game uses. Your bomb is Soul. Your main shot is Luna. Your rank is Stella. Your main score is Spirit. Then you have tokens and skills for collecting items and killing stuff fast.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's all the stuff on the interface. Gotcha. Okay. What were the last two? Tokens and
Kills.
kills. Oh, okay. And,
Tokens is actually an alternate scoring system if you ever get bored.
Yeah, if you get really bored.
What the?
There's
Gotcha.
separate leaderboards for kills and tokens.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm starting to see why, this game is kind of viewed now as being a kind of hard one to understand because, you just say you can if you're bored, you can just mess around with the token number, I guess.
You can play for survival or you can play for scores.
Okay.
You can play for killing as much things as possible as well, which is, again, a very different playstyle altogether.
The thing is, though, you can die how many times you want if you're not playing for spirit, so it doesn't matter how bad you do, as long as you kill the enemies.
So the survival, but like the secondary thing is when depending on what character you're playing, you're trying to figure out exactly how that character functions in the game overall. Is what it sounds like.
Yeah,
Whereas
I'd recommend just starting with one character instead of trying all of them. Like, I think that's a problem a lot of people have. They like want to figure out every character.
Right. Okay. So
it's very hard.
So what I'm trying to get, and what I'm getting from this is like every character is kind of their own journey, kind of their own kind of game, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, that's really important. So yeah, that's a really important thing there. Stick to one character. I guess if you don't like, eventually, I guess you'd probably stick to one character. If you don't like how it played, you could maybe try another. But it seems like you just want to stick to one. Maybe just I don't know. What would kind of determine your player preference? Would you recommend a certain character to start with? I guess we're looking at Minogame here. What's kind of cool about Minogame in particular? I guess why did we choose Minogame? I guess is another question there.
I think he's the most popular character.
Oh, okay.
In general.
All right, that's
and
good.
he has the best defensive tools. Like, it's easy to clear the game with him.
Okay,
Again, because of that invulnerability attack, and he just does big damage and stuff like that.
Cool. That's good. Okay.
But he's not. The thing is, he's not easy to play for score, which is part of why this replay is pretty impressive. Like, it's very different from what a normal 1cc would look like.
So
lots of risky stuff.
So pretty much because he's got this very much cheap invulnerability move, for that reason he's harder to score with.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
And
sort of a balance.
The invincibility is not really abusable because there is a long gap between one shot to the next shot. So you really have to keep in mind the positioning of your character if you're trying to abuse your invincibility, because you don't want to be in a situation where there are lots of bullets and you don't have the invincibility shot.
Right. Okay, and then we can kind of see. I'm kind of seeing the video too, like when he uses the sub weapon meter is kind of depleting there, and you can kind of see what's going on if you look at
those
those
audio
Luminant
cues for those
sub-weapon.
two, which is nice.
Okay.
Usually, at least when I play, I just listen to the audio cues and I just push the button once it's recharged.
What was the Stella and the Terra meters again?
Stella is the rank. It goes up to 10.
Rank. All right.
And Terra is the counter for the Shrine of Farewell, the
Special
stage
trait.
that's dependent on your performance.
I see, and it says necessary there, so that's like a necessary. That's a required amount of something.
You start off with 240 Terra, and as you die and do bad stuff, generally mess up, your Terra keeps dropping, and when you do good stuff for score or trying to get more Terra in general, then it keeps increasing. So what you would want to do is stop it from going to 0 before the 7th stage is over.
I see. So cool. So you're kind of like checking that every now and then just to see if you're doing something right. Okay. Cool. All right. So I'm starting to kind of get an understanding for what this game's all about now, because I know like yeah, there's a lot. It's like when you look at it at surface value, it just looks like what the hell's going on, pretty much type of thing. But now we're kind of seeing, it's kind of like chaotic, but there are these systems in the background, and you kind of have the overall goal of surviving, along with kind of experimenting with the various enemies and seeing what kind of you're getting for score, okay, and this type of thing. So cool. Starting to get a feel for it.
If you think the main game looks crazy and chaotic, you should actually see when we come across the special stages, extra stages, because they are a different trip altogether.
Cool.
Yeah, they look pretty crazy.
Yeah,
That's a good word for that.
So yeah, the first replay we'll be watching is world record run by a player BCF, and from Minogame. Then we'll be looking at the Extra Stage 1 and Extra Stage 2 replays from 2 different players as well after this. And it's actually a pretty long replay, so we should probably get it going here.
Okay.
But I think we got a good little preface of kind of what to expect, and I suppose we can really get into some other things. I know you mentioned the audio cues. I want to ask about those too when we get as we get into the replay and we start listening to the actual game, because right now we don't have any game audio. But talk about the audio cues and pretty much whatever comes whatever comes up during the replay, and try to understand this thing and that type of thing. So cool.
All right, I can switch us over, and then of course we'll do the countdown and all that stuff.
Yep. So yeah, I'll do a countdown. It'll be 3, 2, 1, click.
Yep.
And,
Hold
get
up.
into this
Let me
thing.
go
Yep,
right back to the start. And switch over to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sweet
That'll be fixed
Hells-
in a second. Okay, so hold up. Let me just go back to pause. Stupid thing. I gotta. Okay, I guess you can count down. Whenever.
All right. Cool. All right. I shall do the countdown then. All right,
Okay.
3, 2, 1, click.
All right, here's the HUD. All right, so what did you just do there? Was that a bomb?
Yes.
That was the sub weapon. That's sort of a bomb that makes you invulnerable.
Okay.
Was it charged up or?
Yeah, I was charged up.
That's the purple ball or whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the
The
charged
important
weapon.
thing is killing those things and hitting those vulnerable parts to drop things that make the rank jack up to max.
Oh, so he's maxing out rank right away, or she?
Yeah, it's already maxed.
Bring
And
the
it,
heat.
It basically won't ever go up throughout the game anymore. It's just
Okay.
gonna stay at max rank.
So what are those seals right there that are on those enemies?
It's actually just an indicator to say that you've sealed the enemy, as in it doesn't shoot at you.
Okay.
Oh,
Is that-
nice.
So
Okay.
what
Nice.
happens is when you're close to the enemy, some enemies actually show the seal on it. That means it can't fire things on you. So at certain places, you would like to get close to them and stop them from firing things while you point blank them to increase their spirit.
Okay. What does master mean?
Oh, I
That's
forgot.
the other scoring system.
So basically, like, there are slave enemies tied to masters. If you kill the master, you get bonus points for every enemy that was the slave.
Oh, cool. All right. Sorry to run, but I'm just like, what the heck's going on? So like.
That was a
Uh,
good question.
All good
It's-
questions so far.
Okay, so I see counters on the left, full soul and Luna, right? What are those?
Soul is the bomb counter. So you have he's using solid stage, which is auto bomb setting, which we probably will get back to later.
Okay.
The soul is the bomb counter. So at 3 soul, you can fire off a small bomb. At 5 soul, you can fire off a max bomb. The second one is Luna. So Luna is your rapid fire rate for your main shot. So the higher the Luna, the more rapid fire you can.
How do you get that Luna up?
The purple icons that fall. But there are two different kinds of purple icons. One that increase rank. The ones that you see on screen right now, falling off the enemies. Most enemies, when they die, release the Luna items, which make your Luna bar go up. But it recharges very fast on its own normally, so you don't really have to hunt for the Luna items to increase the Luna.
Okay.
You sort of have to with Minogame though. His shot gets sort of weak fast. If you can see the bar dropping there, it goes down pretty
Yeah.
fast.
I see.
So we shouldn't be concerned with Luna too much then.
Yeah,
Not
it doesn't matter that much.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so what is that weird black stuff that he just
It's
shot? Or
homing lasers that are really funky.
Okay.
That's the sub weapon, right?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
I think let me explain the particular weapon system of this particular character. So you have your main shot. So when you tap the Z key, the main shot key, you rapid fire the normal your normal shmups shots. If you hold it down, it starts charging an aura, which you can release after. It'll show a bar underneath the character itself. So it's charging up your the aura, which you can actually melee enemies with. Then on the sub-weapon, there are if you just press the sub-weapon, on the first level, it releases pink bullets that actually they do very less damage. And if you release it on the second level, it shoots the black things that you just saw.
Okay.
If you hold the main shot down with your sub-weapon, it releases two different weapons. At level 1 sub-weapon, it releases purple bullets that does moderate damage. And on the max sub-weapon, it actually releases the invincibility one. But to be invincible, you have to be inside that circle, holding down the main shot, charging your aura, or else you'll die. And that's a lot of information.
Inside the circle? What circle? What do you...
The circle, the invincibility circle that it launches, the sub-weapon.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the little bomb thing. Oh, and here we're seeing some boss milking, I guess. Yeah.
So
like the main shot is the main way to increase the points, and he's just sitting there to increase the points on the boss's parts. If you can see those green numbers, those are the point values. So
what that was the aura from holding
Hold on, here's the
sub
cool
weapon,
thing.
right?
All right, ready? Check this out.
Okay. So use.
He puts that up.
So it looked like you used quite a different fusion tech things there.
Yeah, he used everything at his disposal to catch almost all of those bullets and turn them into points.
Whoa.
The destructible bullets actually give you points, so but not all bullets are destructible. Only few enemies, specific enemies, release destructible bullets.
yeah, actually, I think the destructible bullets. This game takes a lot of things from other games, and I think the destructible bullets look exactly the same as the ones in Xanac, and there's also some enemies that are like straight out of Xanac, so they're like those spinny little light blue shots that are destroyable.
Here you will see a lot of unchaining as the master. He's killing the master to unchain the slave enemies.
Oh, okay, I see. And they turned into bullets, right? That's what
Yeah.
happened. Ah,
They turned into icons, items. Here is some bomb milking. You use bomb to milk enemies as well.
so what was the immortality thing that just popped on the screen? Was that invulnerability because he went in the circle?
Oh, it
Mortality.
means he got a extend when he was at max lives. It gives you a point bonus that increases every time you get one.
Oh, I see. Okay, good.
So
That's one of the reasons why not dying is very important in this game.
So you get bonus lives on your max lives, which get transferred into points. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Alright.
Wow.
here the side paths are worth more points than the main body. So he's taking out them before shooting the main core. And these two enemies, they don't appear unless and until you do a certain trick. I have not figured that out yet, though.
Maybe
Yeah,
from
me neither.
killing
I
those
think you have
enemies
to be
before.
pretty fast though.
Yeah, he kind of
Over
killed
here you
those
will
guys
see him.
before quickly.
The same bullets milking.
Oh,
And a
here's
pretty
some
neat
pretty
technique
big
coming up.
grazing at this enemy.
Oh my gosh. So
he
he
was
was
invincible during
invulnerable.
that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was a good use of the invincibility. You can
So you
just
can
go
use the
inside
invincibility to graze then.
Yeah.
That's what we're
Yeah, you
seeing
can do
there.
that with this
Okay,
character.
cool.
Okay. Well, okay, he does it again. Okay, because he's in the circle.
He actually does the melee attack to graze. It seems to increase the point gains a little, but it's sort of risky. Pretty cool.
What it does is actually the melee attack and plus Kagura Moon Cradles, the sub shot, they actually slow down bullets for a little while. So it just gives him a little extra time to graze it.
Oh, so that's why he's launching those homing lasers, the moon cradles, right?
The Moon Cradle is a different character altogether, which
Oh,
is
I see.
the extra stage 1 replay. We'll see that.
Okay.
And more laser milking,
Yeah.
laser grazing.
Yeah, I think this is the only. Okay, there's only 2 bosses where you can milk for graze. This is the first one.
Wow, look at this.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah, if you guys could just try to point out like what shot and charge and sub weapon he's using, like pretty quickly, like that would help out because I know he changes it up quite a bit, and I'm still not quite sure
Okay.
what he's
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah, what he was using there was the invulnerability thing again,
Okay,
and now he's using the main shot.
just the main shot there. Okay.
Yeah, the main shot, like, well, he's gonna be using the main shot to increase the point values most of the time. That's Minogame's best way to increase the score values.
Okay.
There's a lot of point blanking with the shot, which is risky, but gives you points.
All right, and then that was the charged sub weapon.
Yeah,
Sure.
that's level
Yep.
2 sub weapon.
Level two sub. And then the aura. What's the aura? What's the aura again?
It comes out automatically. If you don't shoot, you get an aura.
If you don't shoot, okay, that's what
Yeah.
and then the aura slows down bullets, right?
Yeah, and damages enemies a little.
Okay, cool.
But not
That's
that
also
much.
that's something we forgot to mention. Minogame has like the strongest aura in the game, so he can
Gotcha.
slow down bullets a lot. Whereas another character like Fossil Maiden has a very weak aura, so you'll most of the time just trap yourself by slowing the bullets, which is dangerous.
Okay. So
I'll explain how to use the invincibility shot. What you do is you hold down the main shot, wait for your sub weapon to charge up completely, then press the sub weapon, which launches the circle, and you release the
he just did
main
it.
shot. So
Yeah.
it does the melee attack. Hold down the main shot back again very fast, and this is the coolest
Here's
part of the
a-
game. One, just hold on.
Extra boss. You only
Oh.
get this boss at high
Ability.
rank.
Oh wow.
Funky.
Whoa.
Just use the charge there. He came out of
Yeah.
it. Now he's slowing down bullets. Use the invincibility again.
And now he gets a big bullet cancel. He gets
Okay.
the point items from there.
Okay. So I'm starting to see just how he's using the abilities here. Cool.
And we should turn up the music for this one because it's one of the better tracks in the game. All the tracks are good, but this is one of the more beautiful tracks.
Alright, sure, I can do that just a bit.
Cool. Alright, so yep. Purple invulnerability there.
But yeah, can I get a timestamp to see if I'm synced up with you guys?
It's 10, 31,
30.
32,
Oh, nice. Okay.
33.
No problems.
Okay, what you're seeing here is he's shooting down individual enemies without shooting the master. This is the only place in the entire game that you will do that for more score.
Yeah. This is a nice little score attack stage. Like, if you want to see how to play this game for score, just play this stage. If you like it, you might like playing the whole game. There's a lot of like just prioritizing other enemies over others and speed killing stuff. Pretty fun.
So I noticed some enemies were like colliding into him, but they were just dying on impact. What were they? Or, what was protecting him there from the enemies running into him?
The main shot, it has a quite a large base hitbox.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and if you hit an enemy, you won't take damage. You'll just bounce off. So the player probably wasn't worrying about it too much.
Oh, right, because the enemies, they don't get you. Gotcha. Forgot about that.
Also, these enemies, they only give you points if you're close to them. And I think he killed the master there to get this bonus wave here for Grace.
So this is a straight up bomb right there. Okay.
Yeah, that was a bomb.
Straight up.
Oh yeah, actually, when the background turns yellow, that means you're invulnerable. That's an option you can turn on to have a visual cue for invulnerability.
Okay. Okay. All right.
And
These
every
enemies
auto
that he's
bomb.
shooting, the enemies that he's shooting, like he was shooting there, if you don't get close to them, they don't give you any score. And it depends on your rank how much score you can get out of them. So I think they start off with at max rank their score is 10, and at minimum rank the score is 1, and then you can point blank them to increase their score as well.
The rank, from what I've seen, it basically acts as a multiplier for everything, so it's really important.
Okay.
It changes the normal values of enemies, stuff like that.
It's kind of interesting to have a game where you have a rank system, but you basically just want to push it up all the way to maximum, you know, at any point.
Yeah.
So the only time it's really going down is when what happens?
When you auto bomb or die.
Okay. Oh, okay.
There is also little subtle changes in rank depending on which portion of the screen you are on. If you're on the upper half of the screen, your rank tends to go a little up. If you're on the bottom half of the screen, then your rank actually tries to come down a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, that's sort of a way to encourage playing aggressively, I guess. It's a sort of a cool idea.
Wow.
And the best thing about this game is the music, because everything is synced to the music. Your bosses, your stages, your patterns, they're all and at different segments of the music, different things start showing up.
Really? So they paid a lot of attention to the music cues, huh?
Especially this stage boss, the entire attack is synced to music, and there is a beautiful pattern which is complete. There is a change in the music. It goes off into it starts off with a 4x4, then it goes off into an orchestral progression, and that's when the attack pattern changes.
Cool.
Can I get a timestamp?
14, 13, 14, 14,
Thank
15, 16, 17.
Oh yeah, that music thing reminds me. This stage is pretty special in that the whole stage is timed. Once the music reaches a certain point, the boss will appear. So this is
Cool.
actually, like if you're playing for score, it's really tricky because you need to kill the enemies very fast, but you also need to get points. So it's pretty.
He just auto-bombed right there. He got hit by a bullet and auto-bombed.
And here he's
Okay.
using the invulnerability to go on top of the enemies and melee them.
Right.
Just use the bomb as well. He just wants to kill those enemies.
Another bomb.
Really bad.
Whenever the screen's like yellow, that means
Yeah,
Yeah,
it means you're.
invulnerable.
that means it's a bomb, or that he's using the invulnerability thingy.
I think it's only the bomb.
Oh, okay.
Even if he uses the sub weapon, only a certain portion of the screen will be yellow. If he's inside the circle actually inverts the colors beneath it, and if you're using invincibility, it's a slightly different color. And the screen turns yellow when you bomb. When you get an extend, you get a little bit of invincibility as well.
Nice.
So what does Stella mean? That he's Stella A. Does that mean rank?
That's the ring.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
It's hexadecimal, so it goes 0 till 9, then it goes into A.
Oh, okay. Is he at max rank right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
And where's the bomb count on the screen again?
Soul.
Soul?
Soul
Okay,
meter.
that's soul. Okay, gotcha.
So what's that where it says like Necro Troop and Unnamed? Is that like the enemies that he's just killed, or?
Yeah, it's the enemies he's hitting.
Okay, I see.
Everyone has a name. Except the developer was lazy and half of them are unnamed.
I think that's significant, though.
Yeah.
As we'll see later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's-
If we ever get around to talking about the story, but
Oh,
we
yeah,
might be
actually,
all
one
day
thing-
here.
One thing we forgot to mention is that this game was developed by just one guy, so that's
Wow.
pretty cool. All the music and everything. Actually, I think the sprites and stuff in this game are pretty impressive too, along with the music. Just the presentation in general.
Any information about the creator or?
His
Oh,
he used to go by Ruminant Swimper. Now he goes. He used to go again by Ramyon. Now he goes by Tonna. I do have his Twitter ID. and he's developed 2 shoot 'em ups, Radio Zonde and this one. And the next game he's developing is actually RPG
Oh.
with lots of loadies.
Oh, nice.
All right.
Oh yeah, this boss is. I think this is the first big difficulty spike if you're playing for survival.
Cool.
But for score, I think this is one of the most fun bosses to fight for score. You don't actually try to increase the value of the boss. You keep killing these enemies that keep spawning. So it's not even like a boss fight. You're just trying to speed kill enemies, and then at the end you get these master chains that give you a lot of points and a hard to dodge pattern.
For survival, you can actually insta-kill this. You can destroy one of its right wings, one of its wings, and leave the other wing alone. And if you insta-kill it, you get a revive item which increases your life.
Yeah.
But that's only if you're playing for survival.
Yeah.
If you see the boss attacks that actually sync to the music.
The master chains and stuff remind me of maybe Ikaruga sometimes. Like you're trying to like snipe one enemy. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sort of like that.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel like I might need to check this game out. I mean, the last thing that I kind of took really seriously was like Radiant Silvergun. I spent a lot of time playing that, and even though obviously there's not a whole lot of similarities, there's a couple things that make it feel a little like that, you know, reliance on multiple weapons and stuff like that, so...
Yeah, actually, I started playing this for score after I once seen Radiant Silvergun. I thought, like, what game is similar? Like, why are there so few games with a lot of weapons? I
Right.
just decided to start playing this again.
The different weapons and abilities are kind of the thing that makes it stand out.
Yeah.
So this is the difficult pattern you were talking about. Now
Yeah.
just chaining all these enemies while dodging these bullets, right?
Yeah, this is pretty fun to dodge, actually.
Oh,
it's like
cool.
half random. It's not that hard to dodge, but it feels cool.
Just getting the master at the back there.
Yeah.
The other cool
Neato.
thing that this game shares with Silvergun is this game has a great sense of pace. I mean, once we get past this level, it really kicks into high gear and it just becomes
Yeah.
super atmospheric.
Oh, yeah, that's-
and wonderful.
The real game starts after this.
Wow.
This is, I think, if you want CC, if you actually kill this boss on 1 credit without using a continue, you unlock the 4th character, Kagura.
Yeah, there's one character who's unlockable. It's Kagura, but Kagura is special in that he has 4 different weapons you can use, which completely change the character. So he's basically 4 characters in one.
Wow.
Pretty cool unlock.
Well, he's like doing like everything right now. What's going on?
Yeah, he just want to kill those enemies that keep spawning.
Oh, at the
Because,
very end. Okay.
Okay.
Frenetic dramatic reading.
Oh yeah, here we go. All right, guys, here's a little bit of interlude. We're gonna do some of the plot, so we're gonna pause and maybe redo the timestamp again. So here we go.
Oh, okay. We're gonna pause it then. Pause it on that first wall of text.
Okay, you got it. So here we go. Yeah, he has it pretty fast, huh? So.
Yeah.
Upon exiting the canal, I was greeted by a flawlessly paved road. My path was occasionally beset by great walls, but they did not hinder me. There was one, however, a membranous barrier of more recent construction, which took some time to bypass. Perhaps it was put in place by some organization in the hopes of stopping its competitors from venturing further inside. Though it did not delay me, its long-term effectiveness proved lacking. No doubt whoever built it was in a hurry. I had no need to guess what their cause for haste was. I needed only to ask the silent remains of the no longer living. Their testaments, embedded in the cold stone or lying in piles on top of each other, told me but one thing. This place was a graveyard for those who were cornered while fleeing the dragon. I advanced through the graveyard. Not far beyond it, I came upon an otherworldly barrier, smoother than any glass or metal. Enthralled by its luster, I took a step forward and was already lost in an uneven, interlocking maze. The area was swarming with the lifeless prayers. a mechanical samsara, reviving them after each destruction. In other words, I had already arrived at what could be called their stronghold. What stood before me was a mere corner, the smallest point of the structure. In the middle of that bizarre inhuman regularity, the stimulation riding through my blood chafed, filling my ears with an inaudible cacophony, a faint, almost undetectable change in the atmosphere. My mind wandered, entranced by the steadfast rhythm cut out by whatever it was that lay within. The womb of a creature built of different materials than us, of a different sort of life entirely. Its entrance a surreal winding path, neither welcoming its visitors nor turning them away. Frozen with perfect accuracy, a body beyond our understanding, like the intricate nest built by a colossal insect, with us stealing inside, intruders uninvited. And now the intruders turn back, heading for the core.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay.
So there you
Oh.
have it.
So
Yeah,
you went into a womb or what?
Yeah, the stage
Okay.
is supposed to be like some sort of biological system here, like inside something, and there's like white blood cells chasing you and stuff. It's pretty
Kind of
interesting.
hint-
But it doesn't
kind of
look
little-
like it. It just sort of acts like.
Okay, let's pause at 21:10 and we'll
Okay.
resume from there.
Okay.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of the Bido Empire. And also, if you're with a lady, you have to get through that membranous part. It's like, it's the sense of foreboding, but you got to get in there. Just saying, tips from the F-man, guys. Tips from the F-man.
Aquas, can we do a little summary of the story before we go on?
Yeah,
It'll take
sure.
about a minute or so.
Yeah, sure. Why don't
So,
you talk about it a bit?
Yeah, the story is the precursors built the total karma compressor system named Garland. And what it does is it holds back bad karma and only lets the good karma through.
All right.
So one fine day what happens is, no one knows why, we'll figure out by the end of the game why it actually happens. It stops working and all the bad karma that was built up is unleashed upon the masses, almost driving extinction. So
Okay.
the characters in the game, what they have been doing is they have been collecting relics of technology from the precursors to survive. And they have formed an organization named Graveyard. And they're trying to reach the island called Paradise, where the Cardinal Shaft is, which is the final piece of technology they need to recover. They have done this twice before and failed, and this is the third attempt. And one of the main characters, Deadlier, was actually trapped inside the Cardinal Shaft for the first attempt, rescued on the second, and joins the effort the third time.
Okay.
And we have the part of this game we are at is we have breached the outer defenses, and we are actually the last stage was actually a sewer system that we went through to reach the it's more, I forgot the exact name of it, but it's a labyrinth where the perpetual calendar resides, and it's a auto-generating defense mechanism. So each time you kill it, it's going to be up within the next 2 or 3 days. So after defeating it, we only have the characters have a very short time to actually reach the boss. It's now or never run.
Yeah. Basically, after this, they're inside the tower that the karma compressor is in. Like most of the game is inside this tower called Cardinal Shaft, which we'll see.
Okay. Yeah, and I noticed the game. The aesthetics are kind of like very kind of digital looking. What do you have to say about what are these? Like, does the appearance of things kind of follow the story exactly, like the digital look, or kind of what do you
You can. It's actually it's interesting. Actually, the player characters, what we in the West refer to as player, in this particular game is referred to as executors,
Okay.
while the enemies are referred to as prayers, which also can be transliterated to English as players. So, in another sense, we are the enemies trying to invade something.
Okay. So you kind of have to use your imagination then a bit.
Yeah, just like that one song, "We're the aliens, we're the aliens." That's how it is.
All right. All right. Well, what else about the story then? So the karma, you're going stuff. Okay.
I think that's the first part of the story. It's more like what I explained is the
Oh, okay.
before the beginning of the game and till what we are at now,
Okay.
and a little of the next stage. And there are more suspenses which are right at the end of the game. So talk about it after the main sequence is over.
So there's another text sequence. When is there another text sequence before the end, or is it just all the way to the end now?
Yeah, there's one
there are-
after every stage now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we can recap it after the stages if they take like a while to get to or something.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. Why don't we get back to the replay then?
All right.
Okay, I'm ready when you are.
From 21:10.
Yep.
2110
All right.
on Aquas's mark.
3, 2, 1. Click.
Okay.
Can I get a timestamp again?
Oh, was my countdown bad? We could redo it. It's
No, I
21.
mean, it was just my video.
Okay, we can restart. Yeah, restart the countdown at what?
Yeah,
21:10.
All right,
Sure.
let's go back to 21.
All right, let me bring it back up. It sucks. VLC doesn't let me like exactly just skip to a time. So.
21:10. Try it
Okay,
again.
got it. Got it.
I'll try to be better this time. All right. 3, 2, 1. Click. All right.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay, this stage music, it's get your glow sticks on music. It's full EDM.
Ooh, EDM. That's electronic dance music for you guys out there. That are familiar with.
Oh, whoa, text.
Yeah.
We're talking.
For the
But it's the only
first character,
stage where Minogame talks. Some of the other characters have dialogue as well, but Minogame only talks in this stage for some reason.
Sometimes
So-
you just don't have much to say.
Wow. Is it so? If he hits the walls, he dies.
no.
No.
Okay.
What's he doing here is you can see certain enemies. He's just getting close and not shooting much, so he can milk those for scores. The other enemies that he's killing, they don't give much score, but they give you a life chip. So what you're trying to do is collect as many life chips as you can and get immortality bonuses.
Okay.
And you can graze the walls. If you keep attacking the walls, they raise your spirit a bit as well.
So he's
Yeah,
sealing
just
these
hitting
blue
something
enemies.
gives you a tiny bit of points.
Oh yeah, getting
Wow.
some Zed Blade action going on.
Yeah. Wow. This is great. Great.
What do the mortality items look like? Are those the gears? Or what?
He's actually too close for you to see them. It's a heart-shaped object with an L in the center.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the little hearts that were also on the previous stages. There's just a lot of them in this stage. All the turrets drop one, so you get a lot of extents in this one.
Oh, so he's practically sitting on top of the wall enemies and picking up the life cannon, right? Okay. That's
Yeah.
That's good. Okay.
Yeah, and increasing their point value at the same time. He's hitting them with the shot. Point blank.
Oh, the other cool thing about this level is, remember at the beginning how there were 2 circles they could choose to go into? There are actually 2 alternate paths throughout the stage, and there's another circle so you can switch back from the top side to the bottom side. And the
Yeah, they
music
have
actually
different
changes
songs.
too.
Oh, that is cool. The music changes.
I'm not actually. He might switch the sides in this replay. I don't remember.
As we're gonna
I don't think so. He does it. He doesn't switch the sides in this one.
We got a question from the chat. What is the point of the wells if they don't kill him? Is it just because he's getting the score from them? I mean,
You can still bounce off them. So if you're not careful enough, you can bounce off and bounce into a bullet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you don't want to hit the walls. Just you're gonna bounce you bounce like 1/4 of the screen.
Oh, you bounce. Oh, okay. Otherwise, it's kind of guiding you along. And you said he's attacking the walls to get the wall points up, so he's like milking the walls.
I don't
Yeah.
think he's really trying to do that. It doesn't give you that much, but there's
It
no reason
does
not to
give you
shoot,
points.
so he's just shooting.
Okay.
Yeah, alright.
It probably gives you like till the boss about 50 or 100 spirits. But the logic behind it is you want to get as many spirits as you can before going into the Shrine of Farewell, because
Right.
of the huge multiplier you get off it.
Yeah, so basically, because you double your score in that stage, you can look at your current score at double the size if you're doing a full run. Sort of weird.
So is the spirit is your score the amount of spirits then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Straight up. Okay. It's just. It's all.
And the spirit counters on the top right. The top one is the score before this stage, and the lower one is this stage score.
Oh, cool.
You can see your
They add them
score
up.
on the individual stages that way.
Gotcha.
Okay, let's actually go over the HUD a little bit. If you look at the left-hand side top, where it says unplugged,
Yeah.
it's the rank setting. You can have three settings for the rank: uncompressed, distorted, and unchained. Unplugged. So unplugged is it's full range of rank, and in the main game you can't choose any other setting. The momentary is the control option. You can use an extra slowdown. And the normal one, you can just slow down using the main shot if you hold it down for some time. But momentary actually gives the slowdown function to a different button altogether.
Okay, how often have you been seeing the slowdown function used? I'm not sure if I've been watching that.
I don't think he
Anything that's,
uses it much.
Oh, he doesn't use it. Like,
He uses it basically for remaining close to a few enemies where he has to mill, like something that trying to get these arms. He's using slowdown to just remain close enough and not hit the bullets.
Actually, what he's doing here is, I said like really early, while we were talking about the mechanics, you can increase the point values by hitting many enemies at once. So he hit that invulnerable arm with his homing lasers to do that on purpose. Pretty weird. This is a pretty hard boss and a cool boss rush.
Also notice how it looks a little bit familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of Warning Forever a little bit. Is that what you're...
I think Warning Forever was released a little later than this. This is released in 2010.
I see.
So
No, I was talking more about how it looks like the stage 1 box.
Oh, okay.
well, the stage 1 boss actually comes back later in the game.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
maybe
but-
this boss was somehow related to that boss and wanted to have the same kind of ship. I do.
Here you can see some excellent example of milking to raise the spirit points.
Okay, they're just getting some life chips.
yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. Okay, talking about life, if you see life max 5, so that's there are different settings for max life. You can have 5, 6, or 7. So he's chosen the lowest because he wants to get faster immortality bonuses. And the necessary is how many life chips you need to max extend.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Wow, this is great.
Hey, can I get a timestamp real quick?
Sure. 52, 53, 54, 56, 57, 58.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
I'm actually like a second ahead, but I'll adjust.
Okay, we already spoke about the rest of the HUD meters on the left-hand side, the Soul, Luna, Sub-Weapon, Stella, and the Terra Gauge. So on the right-hand side, you have Solid State, Bootleg Go Solid State. So that's your auto-bomb setting. So in Solid State mode, what happens is, if you have Soul above 3, I'm not really sure. Zarok, would you help me out?
It's
How
as
much
long as
soul
you
do
have a
need?
bomb. You got a bomb.
Okay,
Like
so as long
Minogame
as you
has a
have...
bomb at 3 charge.
So
That's it.
as long as you have a bomb in stock and it shows okay rest 2, so that many auto bombs you have left. So even if it says rest 2 and you don't have a bomb in stock, you won't auto bomb.
So basically you can auto bomb 3 times in a stage, but it lowers your rank, so it's bad for score. And also maybe does some other bad things to your score, but I'm not sure.
Next in line is the spirit and the break. You get a break at 5,000 spirits. That's your main score. The one below that is skill. You get a kill break at 5,000 kills also. And the last one is...
Let me get a time
token,
count so I can just line it up a little more accurately. Sorry.
All right,
29, 30.
Okay,
Sorry.
got it. 32, 34, 35, 36, 37. Close enough?
All right.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, that's close enough. Oh, now he's grazing.
Yeah.
Grazing like a raisin.
You don't actually get a lot of points on grazing this particular boss, but he's just getting as many points as he can.
Yeah, there's no reason to kill bosses before the time counter reaches 0.
Oh, okay. You
There's
don't get
no
a
like
time
time
bonus.
bonus.
for-
So that's the only reason he's doing this, really, just to get like 50 points or something.
Wow. Looks so risky.
Yeah, like if you touch the boss here, you'll bounce in the lasers, guaranteed.
Ugh.
It's not too hard.
He-
Now check
in
out
this
this
particular-
attack.
Oh yeah, this
Fire
attack
actually
is
breaks the
annoying.
background.
Yeah, actually, as we were talking about kills before, but like if you get a breakthrough extent, it resets the amount of items you need to get a life again. So he's gonna get the kill breakthrough in this stage, which means he'll be able to get a lot of extents earlier than usual. Just a little scoring thing. It doesn't really matter, but you can get a couple more extents that way.
So is this the extra boss that you get, like we saw earlier?
No, this is part of the sequence of bosses. 4 bosses, then you have the main boss keeps appearing in between, and then you have the final boss again.
Okay.
And this is the first wall in the game. It's for someone trying to 1cc it for the first time. This is where they're going to be really stopped for a while before they figure out what exactly they need to do.
I like the S-Braid influence in this boss.
Oh yeah. Look at all this stuff.
Yeah, that's safe spot there, man.
Can
It's
I get
not
a
really a
timestamp?
safe spot. You really have to keep moving around. There is no safe spot in this particular boss.
Alright,
It'll
timestamp is,
catch you if you just...
oh yeah, I'm quick timestamp, 31, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59.
Okay, I'm thinking that. Thanks.
Be around there.
Oh yeah, this boss is actually the last boss of Radio Zonde.
Oh.
I mean, Old Rose, the one we just fought, and he might just be fighting. Yeah, he's still fighting it. But all her attacks are based on the attacks in Radio Zonde, but they're way easier. Just little tribute to the game he made before this.
Cool.
Oh, cool.
He's keeping the boss alive to get a good bullet cancel, so he gets a lot of those point chips.
I see.
And this is
I think-
really interesting because you can make the boss immortal and milk it for points.
Yeah, if you kill all the turrets here, you get a secret form that increases your counter for the Shrine of Farewell.
Oh. Ooh, the mysterious Shrine of Farewell.
I see. You can see the percentage of the life left for the form. I
Now, what is
noticed.
this fate control that's coming up right now?
It increases your terra, the bottom left gauge.
How is he getting this fate controller? Does he just...
By killing the immortal boss. Every time you kill the immortal boss, it just revives back, but it gives you more terra.
I see.
Yeah, there's a little percentage running out for the health every time.
Yeah, every enemy part has that percentage. Like you can see it on everything.
Okay.
Oh man, there's so much stuff going on. There's cray.
For real, man.
Explosions everywhere.
This is really
Yeah, there
great.
we go. He got the kill breakthrough there, which is pretty impressive. I haven't seen any other replay where someone gets the kill breakthrough that early.
Alright, suppose we're gonna pause again on this text here.
Yeah, here we go.
Alright.
This text lasts forever, though. Are you sure you want to do this?
If
Oh,
it's
Oh
a,
yeah, this one lasts a long time.
okay,
Oh,
just,
okay.
Just read the first page and then we'll resume from I don't know, 34:15. Well, or no, we'll resume from where it shows the first page of text.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
So hold on. Let me figure out what time this is then.
Yeah, figure out what time to queue up, and then I'll start reading.
I think 30. Let's do 34:14.
Okay.
Or is that all the text? Oh yeah, it's all the text on that page. So yeah,
All right,
34:14.
34:14.
Yeah.
Okay,
It has
gotcha.
all the text on the page.
Yep.
Fuck, the replay is too long. It's hard to get there. Oh fuck, I went over.
I got it.
I'm at 34:4. Do you want me to just read and then you find out how much where we can skip the text from, Aquas?
Okay, no, do 34:13.
Okay.
And then yeah, it's fine.
All right, I'll read the text here. Okay. The great clock fell silent. As if in response, the prayers disappeared from the area. The unarticulated warbling horn was no longer audible either. We pushed onwards through the unsatisfying quiet. A presence became apparent ahead, growing stronger as we drew closer to the remnants of those left behind. The silence served only to intensify our foreboding. We could find any number of reasons for the location in which the great clock was constructed. We could, but perhaps they took the eventual destruction of their womb for granted. Perhaps they saw it as part of some process whose details remain a mystery to us.
All right. Well, seems pretty weird story.
Yeah.
I
okay.
should. So the prayers are actually wishing for the precursors to come back so they can die.
Oh.
So they can die.
Yeah, they're not alive in the normal sense anyway, but they want to be freed from the service they're doing for the cardinal shaft.
Yeah, so basically by killing them, you're helping them too.
All right.
That's right.
See?
Okay. That's why. No guilt, guys.
see.
So I'm thinking 36:28 would be a good way to start the next replay. Skip the rest of
Oh
it.
really? Oh,
Okay.
is that where it is? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
36:28.
That's at 36:28. Okay. Let's get
Just
over
give me
there.
a sec.
Yep. Sounds good.
Okay.
All right.
And I'm good. All right.
All right. Whenever.
We all good?
Yep.
Good.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. 3, 2, 1, click.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, let's try to get through it now without any pauses. Just long as fuck.
Think of it, you're actually playing the game. We're just watching the replays. Oh, so challenging.
Yeah, I remember when I was going through like Radiant Silvergun Stage 4 route or whatever, and I was like, oh my god, this is taking forever. Like a full run. I mean, you gotta sit down at the cab, you know, you get your water beside you, get all prepared. And this, I mean, oh god, I can't even imagine it.
This is good.
here
This is
is,
a spicy burrito. You know, like if this is like a full Thanksgiving breakfast. You know, you know what I mean? Like dinner, breakfast, lunch. You got to put the extra gravy, and you can have white meat and dark meat.
Old stuff.
And after this replay, we get to play dessert.
Yes.
So I think Zarek was trying to point out what you missed is there was a life fountain that was there at the end of the first block of triangular things that show up. You can actually graze it to increase your. It keeps giving you life chips as you keep attacking it, so it gives you more immortality bonuses.
That's the only place in the game where there's something like that, though. Just a little secret. It's really easy to find, though.
I think it's a nice
Also,
forgiving thing, because if you get through a perpetual calendar and you're new to the game, you'll be running low on lives, so
Yeah.
it's a nice place to get stocked back up and ready to go.
Yeah, and actually, I was talking about the kill breakthrough. That was a really nice place to get it, because he just got a ton of extents because of it.
Also, what you see when you see the pink things that come up from below, that's actually a R-type style wave gun used on the player. And if you're caught in it, you die.
Yeah, it's like some enemy shooting a laser through the whole stage. That's been done in a couple like older shoot 'em ups. I remember. It looks pretty familiar. And here, these are actually like bonus waves. You wouldn't get these if you didn't kill that mid boss fast enough. So speed killing gives you stuff like this.
And more laser grazing. And there is the other thing I want to say is when you kill enemies when they have one spirit below 10, they make a chime. When you kill them above 10 points, they give even a nicer sounding chime. And when you kill them above 100 points, which is what you do to most like some of the bosses, they give up a full arpeggio of chimes.
Yeah, and a cool little thing is you can actually see the spirits. There are those little white lines coming up the enemies when you kill them. So they'll follow you around until they reach your character. So it's a nice little visualizer for scoring.
Okay, I'm trying to...
Sort of like 5 chips in Ketsui or something.
Okay, I see them. They're really tiny white lines.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So that's how you determine if you're doing something right, is the white lines coming at you?
Yeah, and some chimes, like...
Okay, chimes and white lines. Alright, got it.
Yeah. If you see the spirit counter, there are 3 lines. The first one is, I think how much time it takes to get 1 spirit. The second one is 10 spirits, and the last one is 100 spirits.
Okay, that helps to kind of visualize a bit there, then if you're doing it right. Cool.
So if it's going up really fast like it's doing right now, you're doing great.
Right, gotcha. Makes sense. Oh, they're shooting their own dudes.
Oh.
Fuckers. Dumbasses.
You can actually use the wave cannon to take out the mid boss faster. You just have to position the mid boss into the path of it, and it will kill it like in about 2 or 3 hits.
But if you do that, you don't get the points, so...
Yeah. So, survival versus scoring.
Yeah, so why was he getting like spirits like non-stop there exactly?
He was killing things very fast, and they have 1 spirit.
Okay. He was just killing stuff.
This is the hardest boss in the game.
Yeah.
Alright.
He actually does something really funny at the start, like weird here with his aura. He milks this boss, which people usually don't milk because it's so hard.
And these 2 bosses, they share the same name as the main characters in Radio Zonde. So some might say that the story follows from Radio Zonde into this game, and these characters were turned into prayers. But that's fridge horror.
The interesting thing about this boss is the attack pattern is random here. This is there's 3 bosses that have random attack pattern order. This is one of them. It's pretty annoying to fight it, then you might get a really pattern you don't know how to deal with. Might get killed full times.
And one of the pattern is a snipe, so the boss, the blue one, shows up on screen and just tries to snipe you. Here you see it as a snipe attack.
Pretty cool looking.
And the boss melee charges you.
Damn, dude's going in. This music sounds pretty sweet too.
This
is actually a remix of the Radio Zonde boss thing.
Oh really?
Another reference. But yeah, it's a cool sound.
Wow. Damn, man.
Okay, what he has done here is he has timed out some of the attack pattern, timed out the boss. If you only time it out, then this attack pattern comes up. And he's milking the destructible bullets that the boss throws at him.
They don't seem to give you much, though, at all. Looking at the spirit cannon. And here's a desperation attack, if it times out. This is
And
At
pretty
this
hard to
point, you're
dodge.
nearing the end, getting to the end of the boss, and you're. Now
Dang.
this happens.
Oh, it's not over.
And this is the second hardest part of the game. After killing the apostles, you're high on adrenaline, and you're trying to get through this mess.
What? Wow, you have to really sweep. Oh god.
And
Dang,
he's actually milking for more points here, by the way.
With the what's that the shield?
Destructible bullets.
Yeah,
What do you call the shield he's throwing again? What's that one?
Sub-weapon.
Sub-weapon
Yeah, the sub-weapon.
charge? Or just a
Yes,
sub-weapon?
sub-weapon level 1.
Level 1, okay, yep, the levels, right. Forgot. Whereas level 2 is the invincibility.
Oh my god. Oh.
Man.
This is pretty easy to stream, actually.
Oh.
You can just stream the entire pattern.
Yeah.
Yo, good
Yeah, it just
chest.
throws a crap load of enemies at you, just like this is the end of the level. Throw everything.
Alright, just read a little bit if you can, Frenetic, I
All right.
guess.
Beyond the stratified outer shell, a narrow path leads back to the center of the tower. In the innermost layer surrounding the core itself are 12 doors. They stand in pairs, 6 entrances and 6 exits. This reminds me of a wild night I had. But anyways, I'll go on. I feel no fatigue upon seeing them. Indeed, I am relieved. The space is
No,
exactly
don't
as
pause
it was
it.
described in the records of the last expedition. Proof at last that I
Stop reading
remain
it, we're not pausing.
Oh, shit. All right.
God
Yeah.
damn it, did you anyone else pause?
No, I didn't pause. Frenetic,
No,
I can
I
give you
didn't
a
pause
count on that.
Okay, give me a time
It's
stamp.
45,
45.
50, 51, 52,
Okay,
53.
cool.
Okay, yeah. Just coming up to
Sorry.
46 minutes right now.
Okay, good.
Yeah, good.
I'll,
Alright, cool.
I'll try to talk about the music of this game. What it sounds like is there was some kind of symphony with a whole orchestra set, and some guy just shows up with a EDM disc set, a full jockey set, and they decide to collab.
Remixing it up.
Oh yeah, this
Uh,
stage
it's-
sync to the music as well.
Remix.
Especially the boss.
I tried to get that in there.
The extra stages music is it's you can play it at a party if you can probably like make a mix out of it.
Oh, that's cool. I
That's-
got to do that at a party. Like, hey
that's
guys.
acid, too, while you're at it.
I bet you could put this on a projector and back and just play the replay, and people would be like, whoa.
Yeah, man. It's like the Winamp visuals.
Yeah.
Visualizations.
This
It's like Windows
is,
Media Player.
This
Go
is
ahead.
the coolest boss in the entire game. In terms of animation, attack patterns, and all the weird stuff it
Hey,
does.
can I get a timestamp? I just paused it just for a second accidentally.
Sure. 47,
47:20.
47, 27, 28, 29, 47, 30,
Okay.
31, 32.
Great.
This boss has respawning parts, so he keeps trying to kill him. Get more points. Pretty much all he's doing here.
All them does.
And he's using a safe spot right in the center, but it's really difficult to stay right there in that particular place.
You can also just stay above him, though. I don't know why he stayed there.
Flashpoints. He's like, yeah.
Game's nutty, man. Oh, those swords are cool. Or
Lances.
pikes or
Lances.
something.
They're lances.
Yeah.
Lances. Yeah.
Those brown bullets remind me of like peanuts.
Y'all so salty.
Or I don't know, like a cat's eye or something.
And here is some impressive milking of grazing of lasers. He's becoming invincible, charging right at the center to graze them as soon as they come out.
Damn, man. Spirit kernel exposed.
And he doesn't let this form. Okay, there is another form to this boss that he doesn't let it show because of scoring reasons. But that form has a really beautiful attack pattern.
Yeah, I got like story happening right now, man.
Wow.
Crazy.
This is some reincarnation like shit. Karma stuff,
This is some
yeah.
DJ Tiesto shit.
This is the boss that appears in the first stage, but this is his most stronger form. And if you don't kill this boss before it times out, you get a non-standard game over. That means the game gets it's over.
Oh.
If you don't kill him fast enough, you say?
Yep.
Okay.
Become a prayer.
Yeah, it actually, what it does is pretty interesting. It transfers its memories to you to show you what he was going through, and it overloads your mind. It's called the spirit overload ending. So it overloads your mind, and you become one of the things that you're killing in the game.
Damn, man.
Oh.
Alright, alternate endings. Crazy.
I think this game has either 3 or 4 alternate endings.
Interesting. Don't pause it.
Yeah, not.
No, I'm not. Oh yeah.
Shrine of Farewell.
Shrine of Farewell.
Oh shit,
Okay.
we got there.
Be pretty cool.
This
So
is the gambling stage. It's literally a gamble, and this guy actually tries to increase his spirit right at the start. I've never seen anyone do it. He just hangs around, which
Oh yeah, I know.
increases his spirit a bit.
It's dumb. You get like 10 spirits if you stay and don't do anything.
So what is he trying to do? Like, you pick a card and then what does it do?
Yeah, you can choose your boss order by selecting
Okay.
a card.
Okay.
There's 4 bosses.
All right, can I just get a timestamp to make sure it's synced up? I think it is, but
Yeah, 51, 15, 51, 16, 17, 18, 19,
okay, got it.
51,
Okay.
23.
So this is a boss rush. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. It's what is described as this is a place, a spiritual dump, where things no one wants ends up in. So these the 4 bosses that you face here are known as the heroic dead, and these are like unworthy heroes who have been punished, and they end up in this place.
They got bad karma, you could say.
Yeah.
This is like, so you're fighting in like in the Phantom Zone.
This is like
Yeah,
Twilight Zone.
it's almost like that. And he's milking all the lasers that's shooting at you.
Yeah, this is pretty
And-
risky because if you die here, you lose way more than you get from this. So
He's milking them by
I never
grazing
tried to
then.
do this.
Yeah. If you see on the top left corner of the game area, it shows a blue chip with numbers on the side of it.
Oh,
So those are the chips that you get from defeating each of the bosses. The total chips you get is I think 424. So that's almost doubling your entire score that you have gained till this point. If you see on the right hand side, your spirit counter is completely empty.
Okay.
So all of your score has been taken away.
Yeah,
So what you do
200
is-
of those crystals is the same as your previous score. So if you get 400, you get double score.
so wait, is this a cash-in stage? Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you get here and then the shit's going down.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
double your score here, which is huge.
So how bad is it to die here? That,
Very, very bad.
Very bad. Extremely
you're on
bad.
a-
that screws it all up then?
Yeah.
I think
okay.
about if you die about once or twice, you can get 1.5 times your score, about 1.25 times your score back. But
I
anything
think you
more
can die
than 3
twice
times-
and still get 2 times. But if you die more than that, it drops a lot. So at least you can die a couple times.
Okay. Damn, man.
And he's
And
milking
he-
this pattern too, which is pretty crazy. Let's do this.
The points that he gets from milking the bosses right now, they won't be doubled. So
Yeah.
he probably gets about 4,000 or 5,000 spirits off this particular stage. Those won't be doubled. It's only his previous score that gets doubled.
Oh yeah, someone said in the chat that you have infinite lives here. It's true.
Yeah.
You can't game over in this stage.
Oh my god, that's great.
And really fast bullets coming up.
Why is he not attacking him? I don't get it.
I think he's trying to milk him. I'm not
Oh yeah,
really
he
sure.
wanted a
Oh,
good cancel. Yeah.
Oh.
And these red stones that show up in between bosses, you shouldn't bomb on them. You can die and actually get some chips off them, but you should not bomb. Then they don't give you any spirits at all. They get angry, they turn red, and they reduce your rank.
If you bomb them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't bomb those. It's weird. This pattern is really annoying if you had to dodge it. You just kill the pattern.
Okay, this is you can hear the chants in the background. This you can't really kill this boss, and you can't you can only like milk a little few spirits off it. And the stage ends when exactly the music ends.
Oh.
Now you have to pick up these crystals like crazy.
Oh, this is like the cash in?
out.
Is this the cash in moment?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so, okay, yeah.
What about those red crystals?
Hey, can I just get a timestamp to make sure it's...
55, 50, 51, 52, 3, 4, 55, 55, 56, 7.
Oh my god.
Okay, got it. Yeah, something went very wrong with my VLC. I don't know what the deal is, but it just was out by like 10 or 15 seconds. It's probably not a big deal.
That's alright.
Okay, we are approaching the last stage now.
Gotta get hype.
Get high. Thin resin object. Yeah.
My breath is slow and regular. It's a ritual in and of itself. That reminds me of a lot of things. Your breath being slow and regular.
Who's Nocticalis? That.
No idea.
Another
Not even
mystery.
the game knows. It's
Go
just a
on.
name thrown somewhere.
Yeah. Massive pillar. That's what the ladies call 'em.
But you remember, perpetual calendar will revive, so you only have a limited amount of time.
Yeah. Yeah, basically after the 5th stage, the characters were like, oh my god, we're trapped now, we have to get to the top, but how do we get out? But it's really stretched out, so it's good we skipped it.
So, like, yeah, so you get the majority of his score, then,
Yeah.
replay.
Okay, one thing to add is this game has one continue, but as soon as you're done with the Shrine of Farewell, that continue expires. So after this, if you ever encounter the Shrine, so if it's game over, it's game over.
Well, it doesn't count as a one credit clear. You used to continue originally, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, so I mean, either way. But I see, for just if you're just casually playing, though, you cannot continue here. Okay, gotcha.
Actually, I don't think you fight the last boss if you continue either. You get like a bad ending.
Oh,
Okay.
I've had it happen once.
dang, look at those lasers. Laser pinging.
Yeah, this is a funky enemy pattern.
So he's trying to kill the master?
Yeah, when there's
Yeah.
as many enemies on the screen as possible, and he gets like 100 spirits.
Cool.
Alright, I think I'm... Yeah, alright. Cool, alright. Here's another one of those redstones.
These are different, so you can actually bomb them and they'll be fine. But I
Oh.
think what happens is I've seen it happens once when something happened and they actually went crazy, but I don't know for what reason though.
Yeah, I've seen that once too. They like throw out an enemy wave at you and disappear.
They get really angry. That's it.
Oh yeah, these masters that shoot all these lasers are pretty hard to dodge.
Dang, he dodged all of them.
He's milking it. He's actually grazing it for points.
Yeah.
So this is the final wave of enemies before the main boss, and it has a unique little thing. What you have to do is there'll be ships on the left-hand side. You can milk it for a lot of points. If you don't milk it fast enough, if you actually leave it, if you don't seal this, they shoot a ton of bullets at you.
Yeah. Yeah, the reason you get so many points is because there's so many enemies, and you get a bonus if you hit a lot of enemies at once. Just one of the few places in the game where there's stuff like that. With a lot of points.
Oh yeah, I know spirits are going up quite a bit here.
Yeah.
He's hitting them, and he's doing the grazing, and he's like point blanking, pretty much doing everything at once.
Oh yeah, the only projectile you can graze are those lasers though. But yeah, he's getting a ton of points from those. It's sort of risky though, at least in some other characters, because you have to dodge those aimed shots from those little ships at the same time.
Shit.
And this pattern here, the faster you kill things, the more enemies show up and the more points you can get.
Oh, okay, kind of like a caravan stage. Okay.
Yeah.
Caravan mechanic. Okay.
Jesus, hell.
So is he climbing the tower now, or?
Yeah, he's at the top of the tower now.
Okay. Oh my gosh, double.
Some of these dodges look pretty impressive.
And this is the title drop,
Hellsinker.
Hellsinker.
Okay.
I think it's supposed to be like a computer for the karma compressor system or something. You can see the little text there.
Okay, so we can. Okay, what happens is the way they created Garland was they buried 4 children under the tower, and that's what powers Garland. And what happens is one fine day a cat stumbles into Garland, and the children want to return it to their owner. And this is the return procedure. They think the player character is the owner of the cat, which they have turned into a girl, by the way.
Oh, yeah, cat girls.
Oh, it,
It's
does,
more like
it
a
has
girl
a happy
cat.
game though. You have to finish this form, then it starts the... Like, then it asks, are you the owner of this? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. The
Actually,
transfer procedure is
depending on
actually.
Oh, sorry. Let me finish.
It's okay, go on.
What I was saying is, depending on how much you damage the boss here, you get a different end boss. You get the 2 last boss if you fill that bar completely. Or is empty right now though.
Is the satisfaction level 0. That you have to raise it to level 3. Then only you get the final boss, the true boss. And one thing I would like to add is you see above the names of the attack patterns, Clover, the dots and dashes. That's actually Morse code.
Oh. For the letter, huh? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the game uses Morse code a lot for like try to look cool or something. The main menu as well. Like everything has to be Morse code. Now he has the satisfaction meter full, so he just needs to keep the damage up and he'll get the true boss.
Ooh. Okay, some life chips coming out. He's like, here you go.
So you said he gets the satisfaction level high by damaging it a lot?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just have to damage it.
Alright.
But bombing actually lowers it a little bit. So you can't really bomb to increase it. You have to use your other attacks.
Yeah. Make
It's not too hard to get it to the max though. It's very rare to not get it to the max once you've fought the boss a couple times, so just keep attacking.
Damn, man. Those cards can't kill him, right?
No, they can't.
Yeah, they're just there for fun.
Yeah.
You can actually milk them for a little bit, not too much though.
Yeah.
But I
Oh,
think
so-
that's only for the first
Now you're
phase.
getting some grays for sure.
Was he destroying destructible bullets there?
He was point blanking to get as many grays as he can from the lasers that
I
the
see.
boss was shooting out at the back.
Okay. Oh man.
Have some red cards.
This is, if you read the text on the screen right now, it is actually the Garland system is going through a reboot procedure. And this is the final boss.
He's just
It's gonna be
charging.
pretty trippy.
He just keeps charging the invincibility. It looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah. This first form doesn't really attack you in any way. So
It releases mistletoes, like small fairies that you can get killed by, but what he's doing is he's just point blanking him and killing him before they even become a danger, because he's in that invincible mode.
Alright, is everyone ready?
For what? Or no?
Yeah, I'm always ready. F-man's over.
This part is just so cool.
Ah,
Man, it's like I'm playing Step Mania. I'm an expert.
Okay, what he's doing right now is he's damaging the boss as much as he can, because he can get spirits off it, and he has to increase the... He's practically reviving the boss, because if you don't get it to full health, it doesn't give you the TLB, which is even more trippier than what you're seeing right now.
ooh.
And the screen actually goes into a different filter mode for the graphics once you get it to full health. And once you hit the TLB, it goes into a invert graphics, so everything, all the colors on the screen are inverted.
Yeah.
Oh, you spoiled it.
Dude.
But yeah, actually, the first
It's
time
the-
I one credit cleared, I didn't know you could cancel these bullets, so I just dodged.
Oh,
Cancel it with the aura there? Or
Yeah,
with-
yeah, you can cancel them with aura. I didn't know that. I just mashed
Yeah.
the shot button.
Even if I'm like gave it out what I was saying, but even if it looks impressive, you can't beat this.
But yeah, this boss, it gives you like, you can see those spirits appearing at the middle of it. It keeps increasing the more you damage it, so this is another boss you want to damage as much as you can. Get some points.
Holy fuck.
The funniest thing is, since all the colors on the screen are inverted, and his sub-weapon level 2 inverts colors, so his sub-weapon actually reverts them to the original color.
Right. Getting fancy in here.
It's funny actually, with the character I play, you fire like a laser if you double tap shot, and you're getting these Luna items all the time. So if you're playing this with that character, you're like mashing the shot button like crazy. Really annoying.
What am I looking at?
It's the end of the game, mash the shot button as fast as you can.
Mars. Oh. Oh.
Just the end.
Yeah.
Just like that.
A little bit of an anticlimactic ending for the.
Oh.
Cool.
Wow.
All right, let me go back to scene 1 so I can switch things up. So because of the replays being in different format, I do have to just do a little
Yep.
quick
Let us
switch.
know when you're ready there.
Yep.
But we will be going on. Well, yeah, we'll be going on to another replay. But all right. So final thoughts, I guess, on that replay you mentioned. I don't know.
So you understood everything, right?
Kinda.
Good enough.
The fun thing is, if you don't reach the satisfaction levels 3, the endings for 0 is the game ends right there. For 1 and 2, it takes you into a for 1 and 2 it takes you to a different end boss, and you get a rather long ending in those final bosses for satisfaction level 2 and 1 and 2. And the actual ending of the game is actually the extra stages,
Oh, okay. So
where the
that's-
cat is finally returned to the owner.
Okay. Fucking cat.